Welcome into the latest edition of Extra Time. We've got Shaka, we've got Stevie, and we've got Naden with us as well, fresh from another one of Shaka's Power Rankings.
No arguing there,
Less
was
said about that, the better.
There was no arguing there.
Steve Nichols' personal assistant is first in, who says, seems like Real Madrid's magic took a wrong turn and ended up at Old Trafford tonight. Have to admit, that was something to witness, right? I have to say, I did think they've just done what Real Madrid couldn't do. Are we having the comparisons?
No.
Why couldn't Real Madrid do what Manchester United did, Stevie?
Well, because we were playing Arsenal, not Lyon. and Arsenal had 11 men as well, not 10. I think it's a bit of a stretch, right?
United tried. They tried to mess this up.
Did it?
They tried.
Did their best.
They were in control. Real Madrid were never in control. We have to say that. Real Madrid were never in control.
Any stage.
Manchester United were in total control. For some reason, decided to make a mess of it.
Okay.
Go on, Naden.
If United and Spurs get to the final, who do we think wins that final? Genuine question.
I think it is a very fitting Europa League final. We actually had a bit of a conversation about this in the viewing room tonight, didn't we? Who do we think wins?
I have no idea. No idea.
Wait.
I've got no idea.
Do you have a feeling about it, Naden?
Yeah, it would be crazy, wouldn't it? Because I think United would probably be favourites, which is as much of a red flag as you could ever imagine as well. You know, United being favourites against Spurs in a final, it's like, oh gosh, I could not tell you what would happen in that game at all.
To try and figure out who's going to win a game, there has to be certain elements from one team that outweigh all the elements the other team has. And when I talk about the elements, it's things you can rely on them doing. You can't rely on either of these teams doing anything.
I'm going to go Spurs.
Why?
Just because I thought that was a good performance against Frankfurt. And while you could have all kinds of criticisms about them all season long, rightly so, at least they produced a good performance against Frankfurt. Manchester United, you could have similarly complaints about them all season long, but that was kind of crazy.
And Big Ange's already told us they're going to win a trophy.
Exactly. How?
Spoiler alert.
There you go. Put your mortgage on Spurs right now, Stevie.
That made sense.
Let's see if they can get there first. Okay. Stevie, you said you understood Amorim's decision to leave Onana out of the squad over the weekend to clear his head. Naden, on the Gab and Jules show today, said the best way to get out of poor form is to keep playing. Shaka, as a goalkeeper, what do you think would have helped you more?
I thought Amorim made the right decision. There's no question that Onana is just number one, and that Onana was going to play today. Never mind what kind of performance Beyonce had over the weekend. Onana was going to play, and kind of gave him a lot of the talk and the back and forth with Nemanja Matic. I thought it was a good idea. Just step away from it all. Don't bother to show up at the stadium. We'll figure it out on Thursday. I thought it was the right thing to do.
You know, the reason I said that was because I was interim coach at Notts County in England for a period, and the goalkeeper, I can't remember his name, let a goal in. The ball was coming down from the sky, came down, it went through his hands, hit him on the head, and went in the goal. And we lost again. Now, on my side was the fact that we didn't have another goalie really anyway. But I decided on the Monday morning, when he comes in, I'm going to pull him in and I'm going to tell him, you're starting next weekend, because we didn't have a game for a week. And so that meant that he would have a calm week knowing he was going to play.
And had your confidence.
And had my confidence. So on the Monday, I give him one of them, come in. And I could see it in his face. He thought I was going to chop him. And I just said, by the way, I said, look, you made a mistake, right? And he went, yeah. I said, well, you know what? You're starting next game. So forget about it, have a good week of training and just make up for it. And the smile on his face, the look on his face, he floated back out of the dressing room. And he actually played well next week. So that's how I figured that was a great decision, because that's exactly how Onana would have seen it. He would realise the manager's with him. He's given me the weekend off to prepare. I mean, what more do you want? Perfect.
You've got more in common with Amorim than you know.
Is that good?
Was that a compliment? I'm not. Never mind. No, that's just. I don't want to know.
That team I was coaching, I know how we felt. Same as United.
Nedum, is it sometimes harder to defend against 10 men in certain situations? Asking for a friend.
Is he asking for a United friend? I think, to be honest, the alarming thing for me when Leon went down to 10 today was the fact that Leon didn't necessarily even part the bus. They were just moving the ball well. But I think good teams, and for a stretch, I thought Leon were this team. Like, when you have a player less, you can just sort of give the numerical advantage to the opposition in a position that doesn't matter. You know, play like a 4-4-1 and have the other team like have one centre back be free. The centre back's not really going to affect you. So outside of that, it's still the same sort of like it's a similar defensive structure. So I think at times maybe it can be harder if a team really wants to park a bus and, you know, make themselves really, really hard to break down, but then still have something of a threat on the break. But I was just alarmed by the fact that for United, like, they never really took control of the game with that advantage. Like, you need to be smart enough on the pitch and sort of have people on the sidelines who can give you little cues that will help you be in the ascendancy, start to create more chances, make them suffer. But in reality, for long periods, it never felt like Leon was suffering. It felt like they were comfortable, which should never be the case in a game like that.
Last question, because we're running out of time tonight.
Oh.
Stevie, do you think Manchester United should give Amorim time, just like Arsenal did with Arteta?
Well, they should give him time. The problem is, you have to show signs of improvement somewhere down the line. And the question then becomes, how long do you get to show some improvement? Because that's kind of where he is at the moment. Since he's gone there has been absolutely no sign of any improvement whatsoever. So the question is, how long did the board give him some time to actually make a difference, regardless of how many windows it is? That's the tough question.
He's going to be around. He ain't going anywhere.
Well, he's only going to be around for longer because they can't afford.
They can't afford.
They can't afford to
just
get rid
brought
of
him in. They have far larger problems than Amorim.
If they had money to spend, then his leash would be a lot shorter. But because of the situation, it's going to be longer.
Okay, that will do it for the latest edition of Extra Time. Thank you so much for sending in your questions. Thanks to Nedum, thanks to Shaka, and thanks to Stevie. We'll be back tomorrow to do it all over again.